If you didn't know about the Oblivion Remaster that has come 20 years after the original and has released day and date after the reveal, either you're a gamer with really bad taste or you actually live in Oblivion.
You're on camera, say something.
So stop in the name of the law and listen up. These days, we see a lot of gaming channels turn to classic style games or play straight up classics. Why? Modern gaming has been a bit of a shit show as of late. Free-to-play games with overpriced skins and feeling like a job you have to do for every type of objective to accomplish each day. Games with loot boxes, battle passes, digital content that dies as soon as servers shut down, and worst of all, soulless corporate greed. So of course gamers always go back to the classics, where none of this happened and is the reason why there's always hype for remasters and or remakes. Just look at Final Fantasy VII, Demon's Souls, Crash Bandicoot, Insane Trilogy, Shadow of the Colossus, and of course Skyrim Special/Anniversary Edition. This brings the games to modern platforms and introduces them to a new generation of gamers. The demand for Bethesda games in particular is always quite high, because no other developers makes their open world games quite like Bethesda. The ambience, the freedom, the stories, the right balance of high fantasy with realism. These worlds are downright immersive, all the way from Morrowind to Cyrodiil to Skyrim. As we know, Bethesda has been on somewhat of a losing streak for years now. Since Fallout 4, hey, some of you like Fallout 4, but Fallout 3 and New Vegas were just way better. Bethesda needed this. Releasing Oblivion the way they did is more unprecedented than most people realize. It's an industry-wide nuke, or rather, unleashing oblivion upon the industry as we know it. And today, we talk about how it all built to it. This all started back in June 2023 when an ex-employee of Virtue Studios first revealed some of the projects they were working on, one of them being Project Alter, which was the name given to the remaster of Oblivion. It used layered engines, as the Oblivion engine handled all the logic and gameplay, whilst Unreal Engine 5 handled all the visuals, just as they have shown in the remaster. It was set to release around April or May of 2025. Later in September of 2023, as Microsoft was battling the FTC, the name Oblivion was mentioned in so many documents that when the leak happened, it was all there. However, projects get decided and get cancelled, so fans were still skeptical. Here was the nail in the coffin. April 2025. The cybersecurity bust. The fact that this is even happening is so typical of any Bethesda product. Even though it's from a different studio, the jank and goofy game design also apply to their cybersecurity. On April of 2025, a Reddit user by the name of Tor-Nil was messing about the Virtuous developer's website with the Inspect Alert feature and found an unblocked path where all the website images were stored. It just so happened that these images were labeled Oblivion Trailer. Then another user, Kvasir the Old, found more images to back the other leaks. These confirmed the game was being named a remaster rather than a remake, overhauling the visuals, but the core gameplay and functioning of the world was still the same, and it would contain all the DLC and expansions. Then came the announcement for the reveal, set for April 21st, 2025. Bethesda had fully prepared a live event, an event where I was genuinely excited for once. It was titled, All Will Be Revealed. And boy, did they deliver. It began presenting Oblivion as more than just a game. It's what made Bethesda.
Yeah, it's the DNA of Bethesda Game Studios.
A cultural icon, a childhood memory, and the standard for RPGs. A love letter to the fans. The developers at Virtuous were fans themselves. It was a dream project for them. And even some veterans who had worked on the original Oblivion returned to oversee the project. If this had been shown in cinemas, it would have been a blockbuster. Then came the big reveal, transitioning from the 2006 footage of Uriel Septim to the newly remade 2025 version.
Dreams. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see.
It was glorious. Oblivion never looked better. The graphics were phenomenal, showcasing a leap in quality rarely seen these days. The combat had been overhauled with improved hit reactions and physics. New voice actors brought more diversity to the characters. It was surreal. As the event came to a close, everyone anxiously awaited the release date. We were all expecting next year, maybe even 2027. It was Bethesda. It was normal for them to take time. But then, by the 9, something happened. The presenter said, "Today, you could almost feel the roars of fully grown men getting hyped, sick leaves being taken, weekends being planned. That's Oblivion. Their journey began once more." I don't think people realize how Bethesda needed this. A big win, a clear direction to restore their reputation, and a product to remind people why they fell in love with their games in the first place. Make no mistake, these are all still testing waters to gauge public reactions. Based on that, changes will likely be made to Elder Scrolls 6. Until then, they've bought themselves about 3 years at best. What makes this an unprecedented move at that? Despite being a hot product, the game was released at a sub-premium price point of $50, including the expansion packs. Xbox is genuinely bringing back competition. They're fighting for our money. Meanwhile, we're in a time where GTA 6 is rumored to cost $100. Sony's getting far too comfortable pushing out live service trash and endless Last of Us re-releases. And then there's Nintendo. Listen, here's what you Nintendo don't do. You don't release an 8-year-old game, Zelda Breath of the Wild, on your new console, charge separately for the DLC, and price the base game at $80. Zelda Breath of the Wild on Switch 2 is $90. That's absurd for an 8-year-old game with just few frame rate updates. So maybe, call me naive, but maybe a $50 Oblivion Remaster is exactly what the industry needed to make companies fight for our money again instead of exploiting it. Thank you for watching. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to Citadel to face Oblivion.
I hate my life.